So, guys, this is Mr. Frank Mbah, the man who is believed to be the next in rank to become the IG of police in Nigeria. But you know, he has been trending. People have been putting up his image and also tweeting about him, that for the fact that he is an Igbo man, that the Tinubu's government will not want him to become the next IG. Hence, the current IG refusing to step down. Like you can see, this person tweeted here and said, Frank Mbah, Igbo, is next in rank after Egbetokun Yoruba. That is why Tinubu rushed to the National Assembly to enact Kangaroo Act to illegally keep his kin in office as IG of police, even after he attained both 60 years of age and 35 years in service. Nepotism at its peak. So the current IG of police is already 60 years old. He's more than 60. And also he has served for more than 35 years, which the Police Service Commission says if you have served for up to 35 years, you are no longer supposed to be in service. And also, if you are up to 60 years old, you are not supposed to still be in service. But as it stands now, the current IG is still serving. And people believe that because this man, Mr. Frank Mbah, is the next in rank to become the IG of police. So Tinubu will like, how on earth under me an Igbo man is going to be the IG of police? You see where the problem is coming from. Now you can see why the rule of law is not existing in Nigeria. And all this vindicates Mr. Dele Farotimi, who has come out to talk about, you know, the judiciary, the law in Nigeria, the constitution is only meant for the poor. But for those of them that have power, they have money, they have influence, they have position, they do whatever they like. So this other person tweeted about Mr. Frank Mbah. He said, I don't know him personally, but I've observed his policing work over the years. If you ask me, I think Frank Mbah is an officer and a gentleman. And this other person also tweeted again and said, Inspector General of Police, the next in rank is Frank Mbah, DIG from Southeast. Now you know the IG has refused to resign after clocking 60 years or serving for more than 35 years. Igbo man can never be IG under this dispensation. So that is actually where all the fingers are pointing to. For the fact that he's an Igbo man, you know, they don't want him to be the one to be there. And so, guys, in case you don't know, Mr. Frank Mbah is also a PhD holder, and he has been in the police force. I mean, many of us have seen his face, you know. He has always been there, and he has always been doing a good job, you know. He has a very clean record. He has a very good work history. But for the fact that he is an Igbo man, they don't want him there. I mean, they don't want him there. That tells you the kind of country we are living in. And this is actually what Sowore is fighting for, you know. Sowore has been calling the IG of police illegal and all that, you know, because he believes that the IG has outstayed his time in office. He's more than 60 years, and also he has served for more than 35 years, which the Police Service Commission allows. Now he's supposed to retire. He doesn't want to leave. Tinubu does not want to let him go. So where is the rule of law? Why do we even have constitution in this country? Why do we have laws that only apply to the poor and the voiceless? But for people who have position, who have power, who have money, who have influence, they decide whatever they want to do. Now, take a look at this headline. This one says, Remi Tinubu boasts she stopped EFCC from arresting Obasa over multi-billion naira fraud in Lagos. So you can see that these people don't allow rule of law. She is now the one that decides who the EFCC should prosecute and who not. You know, that is what this headline is talking about. And Nigerians have been reacting to all this. Now, this headline says, the Police Service Commission had ordered the immediate retirement of all senior police officers who have either exceeded 35 years in service or above the age of 60. This is actually what we are saying. The Police Commission has said if you are more than 60 years, you should leave the police force. If you have served there for 35 years, you should leave. And all this, the current IG of police has fulfilled. I mean, he's more than 60. He has served for more than 35 years, but he's refusing to go. And Tinubu's government is not, talking about it. They are not wanting him to leave that position because they feel if he should leave at this time, an Igbo man is going to become the next IG of police, which is what they actually don't want. And for them to do what they want, they have to go against the constitution, against the law. You see all what we are saying. Now, this other headline says, Tinubu directs Lagos lawmakers to reinstate impeached Speaker Obaza amid office standoff. Schedules meeting with legislators. So it is Tinubu now who decides, who is going to be the speaker and who not. The rule of law is not being followed under these people's rule. I mean, the law, the constitution, it has no place in the Tinubu's government. Tinubu decides. He wants to have meeting with them to tell them what to do and what not to do. Instead of him to tell them to follow the rule of law, to follow the constitution, to do what the law says. Guess what? Tinubu is now the one telling them to reinstate the man they sacked. Because this man has proven stubborn. They wanted him to leave, but he has said he's not going anywhere. Him and his supporters, they've even refused to vacate the lodge where all the speakers and the National Assembly lawmakers, where they stay. They've refused to vacate. They believe that their removal or the removal of Obasa is illegal. So that has led to them refusing to go. And for now, I'm just looking at it as in Tinubu does not want so much noise carrying his name around. So he has told them, oh yeah, just kukuma, bring him back. I'm coming to have meeting with you guys. Nigerians, where can this be done if not in Nigeria? Assuming this man is actually, or there was any fraudulent act by this man, why not allow the rule of law? Why not allow the EFCC? Your wife prevented the EFCC. Now, your people removed Obasa. You are now asking them to bring back Obasa. So, it is no longer the rule, the law, or the constitution that works in Nigeria. It is you who decides who to fire. And even if they fire the person, you can tell them, bring back the person. So, guys, these are what we all are talking about. And like you can see this headline, it says that extension of IGP Egbetokun's tenure violates constitution, will have consequences, implications for Nigerian police force by Barrister Hamza Nuhu Dantani. So this person is saying that if Tinubu leaves this man to continue staying in office, he's going to tomorrow, other police officers will not want to follow the rule of law. After all, they will have something to present as their reason. They will tell you that the one-time IGP of police, Kayode Egbetokun, when he was also in the same situation, he did not vacate the office. The president did not even ask him to go. It will now become another law, making the real constitution to become a waste of time. And this other headline here says, Chidi Odinkalu blasts Nigerian police IGP, says he will enforce retirement for officers above 60 despite exceeding retirement age himself. So this IG asks other people to leave, but he himself will not leave when his own time comes. He enforces the law on others, but not for himself. So guys, these are the things we are saying about Nigeria and why this country is not going to get better anytime soon. You can imagine, there is nothing like rule of law. I mean, there's nothing like rule of law in this country. For the fact that you are an Igbo man, you cannot become the IGP, you cannot become the EFCC boss, you cannot head the security agents like the military, you cannot... You find your way. You can't even become the accountant general, of this country, the minister of finance. You cannot hold those positions because you are from the Igbo tribe. So, guys, we all know that Sowore has once said that it is something that is planned by the federal government against the Igbos. In short, if you've not watched that video where Sowore said something like that, let me just allow you to take a look at what Sowore said about the plan of the Nigerian government against the Igbos, that there are positions Igbos can never handle in this country. And you can just see it playing out in your own eyes. You can see it playing out in this case of Frank Mbah. So I'm just going to let you just take a look at what Sowore once said. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.
But you're a Yoruba man. Why are you saying this about your people?
I don't know why people just say that, because you're being a Yoruba person doesn't take my humanity away. But you must understand that this is not just about landmark. There's an Igbo problem in Nigeria. That's why they're holding Nnamdi Kanu.
What's your take on
for asking
Nnamdi Kanu's
for
perpetual
Biafra.
detention?
And then we are rehabilitating Boko Haram commanders. You said 120,000 of them have surrendered with foreign currency in their hand. And you have rehabilitated them. But one guy who says, we want justice, we don't want to stay in Nigeria, you are holding him perpetually, using the judiciary or judicial, subterfuge to keep the trial. And everybody who knows what they are doing understand that it's not a judicial matter.
So Nnamdi is essentially a political prisoner.
He's a political hostage. Well, I'll call him not a political, because it may not. Whomever is in power, except me, will keep him in jail.
So do you think that Igbos generally are endangered species in Nigeria? Going back what you just narrated.
The truth, that's the truth. Nigeria did not forgive Igbo since the end of the Civil War.
What did they do?
Because they challenged the real estate of the British called Nigeria. So, and they didn't forgive them since then. So everything that's been done after that, we know this is the unspoken truth about the country called Nigeria, that they did not forgive Igbos for the Civil War.
The Igbos were the victims, and they have forgiven the victims. So why is it difficult for the victors to...
You are preaching to the choir.
And because he had mentioned once that, in an interview once, he had mentioned that the Igbos will never be president of Nigeria. That is a perpetual, narration to keep the Igbos where they are.
Yes, so, no, it's not about even the presidency. If they find an Igbo man that is malleable, that can work in their interest, they can make him president if he doesn't have any power. You can be a president of Nigeria and not have the powers of the president. When they wanted to destroy the landmark, who was the minister in charge? It's not an Igbo man.
And Moka is Igbo speaking, also fighting.
It's easier for them to use an Igbo man to carry out. If it was done by a Yoruba man, the uproar would have been worse. But you find an Igbo minister of works to help you demolish Igbo businessmen. You say, can't you see them? So it's easier that way. It's manipulation. It's how Nigeria manipulates people. But I'm not saying that if he was a Yoruba minister, he cannot demolish. They will do it too. It's easy. Anybody could have done it as long as there's an agreement to do it. Because beyond just ethnicity, there's also an elite conspiracy against Nigerian people. So an average poor person is endangered. But you are likely more endangered if you have committed a generational crime against the Nigerian real estate owned
by being an Igbo man.
Of course, that's the truth.
The inability of the previous government, Buhari, Jonathan, to remove fuel subsidy, and the ability of this current government, the president, to remove that subsidy, doesn't it show some kind of political will to do right?
It's not the political. It's not political will.
Where others fear to trade,
no, it's not political will. See, why people like Tinubu are dangerous is that they have been in this game for a long time. And I said they are very dangerous people because they have been involved in everything. They were in the opposition. They have been in government before. So they understand the weakness of the Nigerian people. That was why the day he removed subsidy was when nobody was watching. The day everybody was watching but not paying attention, which was the day of his inauguration. And I won't be surprised that him falling on that day was programmed to distract attention. So they created content for people. Oh, Tinubu just fell, Yakata. But he did the worst thing that could happen to the economy of the people.
Was it only content? Because fuel immediately jumped from...
No, I'm not saying that. A lot of people paid more attention to the fact that he fell.
But the president have stated it several times that one of the reasons why he would ensure he works for the generality of the good of the people, it's because he fought the military, he risked his life, and he fought for this democracy we're enjoying.
You're saying that they didn't fight the military because they have the same characteristics. In fact, what they are doing is worse than what the military was doing.
What are those things?
Yes. This idea of jailing children after protests, jailing people for speaking against government officials. This is what the Decree 2 and Decree 4 people were doing
So
under
are
the
you
military.
saying that the present administration is worse than the military?
It is worse than the military. The military did not even jail children during their own time.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
They didn't charge children for trips.
okay. Before we travel far from the failed subsidy
Yeah.
something, one last question. I want us to play some kind of role reversal. If you were the president, assuming you won the election,
Yes.
what would you have done differently regarding the failed subsidy issue?
So what I would have done differently is, first, I am aware of the people who are stealing fuel subsidy money. I know them. I know everybody that is involved. And do you know how I know? I covered fuel subsidy, fuel matters like nobody else under Sahara reporters. I've seen all of them till today. So I would have clamped down on them immediately. And secondly, I would have fixed the refineries and created newer, smaller refineries. Because refineries are very easy to put together.
Like modular refineries?
Yes, even the ones, you can build a refinery within a year, they'll bring the parts to put it together. And the reason is simple. Even as Nigeria is unable to fix its own refineries, and they're lying about fixing the ones they
I was coming to that.
Niger Delta militants are able to produce diesel in this country in large
They
quantities.
still produce kerosene. In fact, they bragged, there was a time they said that the kerosene that they're selling in most filling stations
They
are
are
supplied by them.
Yes. So if Niger Delta militants can be doing the old style biology class distillation, how is it that the federal government cannot do the same thing? But don't forget that these same people that claim that they can't build refineries went and built refinery in Ivory Coast. Yes, under
Who did?
Jonathan. And we are importing fuel from there. There's a refinery in Niger. Niger doesn't even have oil. They're selling fuel to Nigeria. How is that Nigeria cannot build refineries? Even the Dangote refinery, the famed Dangote, was built how many years ago? It was after occupying Nigeria that he built his refinery. Bua is going to finish his refinery very soon. All these guys benefited from forex provided by Nigerian government to build their refinery. These guys have already spent 2 years almost in power.
Yes, almost.
Because by February of 2027, election is here. So we have about, almost
In fact,
2
from
years to go.
2026, electioneering starts.
In fact, they have started. They've started electioneering already. More poverty, so that people will come, they beg for them to at least give small. And then they will now preserve everything towards the end at their usual palliatives.
With all that the president is doing,
What has he done? Make you tell me now. Where is it that you have found the jobs that they promised they will create?
But
Where have you found the roads that they said the money they will save from removal of fuel subsidy they will use to build it? Where have you found the hospital that they built? The only people who are doing well as the president are his people. He's the one who bought a new jet in the midst of this starvation and poverty. He's the one who bought a new Escalade, providing jobs for their own boys. That's not his issue.
So you don't believe in the tax reform policy?
What is the tax reform going to do?
Redistribution of
He will
income and
collect
resources and
more
all of that.
for the same people. I've already talked about tax before. That what you need is to increase not taxes but expand the tax base. And I know this because Nigeria has the lowest tax base in West Africa, and it's because the rich people are not paying taxes. But now you want to collect more from the poor, which was something exported from Lagos. They exported this whole tax collection thing from Lagos. You know where it's going to end? You're going to have private tax collectors introduced nationally.
You just sound like the president is somebody who already understands the character of Nigerians, and he plays with the character. Is that what you're trying to say? That the president is deliberate with how he deals with Nigerians?
Most people don't know Tinubu as much as I know him. And it was because when we were doing pro-democracy, we knew them. We knew how they came to the pro-democracy movement and stylishly hijacked it with Nadeko and ran away from the country. Left those of us who really were doing the struggle to be endangered. Why they all disappeared?
Oh, you think that was deliberate?
It was.
So are you also of the school of thought that perhaps he was working with Abacha somehow? Because people are insinuating that there was a backyard movement, and that's why you have people like Baghdadi working in this administration.
They were close to all the politicians at that time, the SDP people. They were all close. Even Abiola.
So that means he was betrayed in Adeko at that time?
No, they were all part of it. Even Abiola cabinet, it was the cabinet Abiola wanted to use that he gave to Abacha. Foolishly, I would say that any day, thinking that Abacha will hand over power to him. But there's nowhere in the world that people get power and hand it over to anybody. Not even a father will hand over power to their child except they are dying and they have no reason to keep on to power. So it's the same thing with all of them. Do you know how you understand what the game they were playing. When Abacha died, all these politicians went to meet with Abubakar. They did not ask after Abiola. Yes, we were in Lagos waiting for Abiola to be released. We saw them meeting with Abubakar. And when Abubakar took over power and handed over power, they were his greatest friends.
So there is a deliberate impoverishment of the
Nigerian people. That is what, what did removal of fuel subsidy do to you?
Governors are getting more money.
Yes. Governors are not poor. They are these people who are already rich who are getting more money. Are you getting me?
Okay, but
yes.
Okay.
The rich is getting richer. The poor people are getting poorer.
So should we hold the president responsible for the fact that governors are getting more money yet? That money doesn't trickle down. Those money don't trickle down to the poor people.
Do you know what has happened under the Tinubu regime? They have created a one-state system, one-party state. That's what I was trying to say. And that is that if Tinubu travels to Lagos today, all the governors will come and greet him.
Block those leakages and those loopholes in our subsidy system, and then to also call them out and thoroughly deal with those people who are gaining from the subsidy.
That's exactly why when they are retelling the stories, we must keep telling it the appropriate way. People have said that in 2012 people fought against Jonathan's subsidy and as a result have no right to complain when Tinubu removed subsidy. That's not true. What we found out during Jonathan's time after the Occupy Nigeria 2012 struggle was that we actually found out that a lot of the people who were supplying fuel weren't supplying anything. Some of them, it was found out, were importing fuel to Nigeria with ships that capsized 20 years ago. You knew about it. Some were importing water and claiming. So the port became a place for racket. All of them were arrested, or some of them were arrested. They probably arrested the small boys. But go and ask today what happened to it. Was it?
So guys, you have heard what Sowore said about the gang up against the Igbos in Nigeria. So you can imagine if this is not enough to make people to start agitating for secession, You can imagine if such a statement is not enough to make people to start thinking why they should even be part and parcel of the country that has rejected them. So these are the things we are saying about leadership in Nigeria. People were thinking that with the Southern president, that Tinubu will close all the gaps. Those that feel marginalized will be brought back, will feel included. But guess what? Under the Tinubu's government, the marginalization gap is even widening. It's widening. Anyway, you've heard it for yourself. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.